Super Mario Bros. Wonder just got huge news as we approach this game's release on October 20th. If you've looked at your calendar, that is right around the corner, and there's no doubt so much anticipation online for this game to finally be in the hands of players, but of course it has been in the hands of critic reviewers up until this point in time, and we now have some record-breaking 2D Mario Metacritic scores to actually discuss today, because this is doing something that I don't think anybody would have expected a 2D Mario platforming game to do in 2023. There's no doubt that once upon a time, 2D platformers had their moment in the spotlight in gaming, and they did a lot of innovative stuff, but over the years, it started to feel like we were playing more and more classic SNES/Sega Genesis style games, but just with a slightly updated coat of paint and the 3D figures as opposed to 2D sprites. But outside of that, it really felt like maybe Nintendo is rehashing some of the same games, and not just Nintendo, Sega and other companies alike. Maybe they're playing off of our nostalgia feelings and not really being truly innovative from a gameplay and world perspective. And that's where I think you have to step back and realize that Mario Bros. Wonder is very much changing the mold and evolving what 2D Mario can be, in addition to setting the tone for maybe what the future of 2D Mario games look like from here. As you can see at the time of filming, which this score could slightly change over the coming days and weeks, but we currently have Super Mario Bros. Wonder sitting at a 93 based on 80 different critic reviews. And when I say that 2D games just don't achieve that kind of score in the modern day, they really don't, or if they do, it is an extreme rarity. So Nintendo giving their developers all of the time and creative freedom that they needed to create this game has clearly paid off, and I haven't seen this much anticipation online around a 2D Mario game in years and years. When you talked about games like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, sure, it sold really well, but many players felt like this was the new Super Mario Bros. From the DS, but just kind of the Wii version of it with some better visuals. Then you had games like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and while it's a great, enjoyable 2D Mario platformer, it really just felt like an expansion of the level style and world style that was established in these New Super Mario Bros. Series. And when you look at Wonder at first glance, you kind of realize that there's something more going on behind the scenes there, because they are creating such unique, amazing visuals, and it also is sounding more and more like this game really packs a punch in the difficulty department, especially towards the end of the game, which I am very excited to see gameplay of. I've been trying to avoid spoilers. I have seen some very brief clips online that absolutely do look like this is going to be a challenging platformer, but in terms of what some of the critics are saying, and also a look at what some people are saying around the difficulty for this game, we have to first hop over to Metacritic, where you can see a roundup of a few different reviews from notable gaming websites, where you first have CG Magazine giving this a 100. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a complete reinvention of everything that makes the franchise great and the best 2D Mario game ever made. What a statement. Comicbook.com has this to say: Super Mario Bros. Wonder is about as close to perfection as it gets for a 2D Mario game. While the new Super Mario Bros. Games were fun, they never felt like they had their own distinct identity, the way we saw with classic Mario games like Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is dripping with creativity and personality in every facet. GamesHub says Super Mario Bros. Wonder is pure joy through and through. From its expressive aesthetic to its whimsical stage design, it delights you in virtually every step. VGC says innovative and full of heart with a tight design and striking presentation, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is undoubtedly the plumber's most memorable 2D outing since the 1990s. My Nintendo News says Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a whimsical masterpiece, and I can say with the utmost certainty that it is one of the greatest platformers that Nintendo has ever made. As the first 2D Mario game of a post-movie era, it sets an incredible precedent for the future of the series with its fresh new gameplay mechanics, expertly crafted level design, gorgeous visuals, and lively animations. If you're anything like me, you'll repeatedly tell yourself just one more level, while a joyful smile remains plastered across your face all the way up till the end credits roll. Referring to the game as wonderful would be an understatement, as Super Mario Bros. Wonder is sure to exceed expectations when it launches for Nintendo Switch on October 20th. Now, while there's really no full-on negative reviews, there is one mixed and then a few different 80s in here, and we will just highlight a couple of the detractors and really what's bringing the score down from the even higher 95 that it was up to at one point. You have the following from Dextero, which reads, while Super Mario Bros. Wonder doesn't revolutionize Nintendo's beloved series, the charming 2D platformer successfully pays homage to its roots, paving the way forward with unique twists that keep the gameplay feeling fresh. Mario Bros. Wonder may not take the crown from Super Mario Bros. 3 or Odyssey, but the latest outing encapsulates the very essence of what a 2D Mario game should be. It's silly, wacky, and most importantly, great fun. The fact that Nintendo can still deliver a great 2D Mario game 42 years after the first title hit our screens back in 1981 really is a wonder in itself. And then finally, we have Digital Spy, which was not near as much of a fan of this game, giving it a 70, where it says, it is a game that tries to evoke a feeling of discovery at every possible turn, but in doing so, loses the element of wonder fairly quickly. Instead, Wonder's strongest moments are when it takes a breather, taking the time to set the scene while letting the platforming do the talking. So when you get the amount of critic reviews that we're talking about with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, it is very rare for it to be hard to find somebody at all to say anything negative about the game, and that's really where you have to scroll to the bottom of the list and even try to find somebody complaining about maybe the pacing of the game and that they didn't like the direction necessarily with it trying to really kind of create a unique feeling and setting in each world. Maybe that just wasn't for their style and they would actually prefer something more in line with the classic new Super Mario Bros. Games. But I will say personally that from everything I've seen, I am anticipating this to be a 10 out of 10 game for me this year in 2023. Gamers are eating extremely good this year. It's insane to see Nintendo pull off all of the 90 plus Metacritic scores that they have this year, in addition to all the other big titles we're seeing drop in gaming. Spider-Man 2 launching on the same day with a 90 plus Metacritic rating, and then you have games like Baldur's Gate 3 that are absolutely blowing up online and having entirely huge new fan bases attract to that title for. It is period just a great time to be a gamer. And on the last note, that's really exciting for me personally is seeing people mention the difficulty and intensity around this game, because as I mentioned in previous Mario Wonder videos, I have been playing Super Mario Bros, playing Super Mario All-Stars with the collection of all the games, as well as Super Mario World on the SNES, and I really do like to see claims that the game gets progressively more difficult as you progress through it. And I noticed the following tweet from Andy Robinson where he says, there's one late Mario Wonder level that took me 4 hours to beat. It was so difficult that I literally turned the console off at one point, then came right back the next day and persisted until it was done. Magic. Now that's a very cool, exciting statement to me, because you really don't see a lot of that in gaming nowadays. You definitely see a lot of games cater to something more of a casual audience, and so they don't want to deter those players by creating stages that could potentially be too difficult. And so you just kind of have more of a relaxed, sit back in your couch feeling and not ever have to really be on the edge of your seat in terms of intensity and trying to have the perfect run to actually get through a level. And just to hear that there are stages where it is that intense in Super Mario Bros. Wonder is fantastic news to me. And not to mention, if you're somebody who doesn't like that, you can also play with Yoshi or Nabbit, and you will absolutely be able to progress through without taking damage. Granted, if you fall off a stage, you're still going to be restarting at that point, but if you are just worried about all the enemies on screen and taking damage, you can essentially have something of an easy mode that's playable for this game. So between that, all the co-op features, and all of the incredible claims of level design, and us really still not knowing anything in terms of the depth of what this game has to offer, if you've avoided leaks and spoilers up to this point like I have, we are probably in for a very surprising ride of various different levels and bosses that will likely wow us and leave us talking about this game for years and years to come, until we find out what Nintendo's going to do next with 2D Mario. But when they have a successful outing like this, and no doubt it will sell well with all of the positive press online around this game, we should have a fairly safe bet that Nintendo is going to continue the 2D Mario series of games for the long haul, and that's personally great news for me. But I really want to hear from you guys at this point in the video, your personal thoughts and opinions around Super Mario Bros. Wonder, all of the new critic reviews that have dropped, and are you excited to see this game in the 90 plus category with the 93 in a 2D platformer in 2023? And are you going into this with raised expectations because of all this positive press? And do you think it will live up to the ultimate hype that many of these game review websites are giving it. And bonus question, let me know whether or not you're planning on booting up this game and trying to go through it day one, or if you will be waiting for a little bit longer to see how things shake out and maybe watch more reviews that go live online before you make your final purchase decision. But regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before we leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.